Hey, it's Nancy from Nancy Chu Homes. I'm a realtor here in northern New Jersey, and in my 18 years in the business, I have transacted over $500 million in real estate. Recently, I was talking to some friends of mine, and they were, they're at that age where it's time for them to consider what their retirement plans are going to be. And I said, so just out of curiosity, do you know what your gross, monthly burn rate is? And they were kind of like, no, what's that? And I realized that I should probably take a couple of moments and talk about this with you guys so that you guys can start, you know, thinking about how to look forward towards, the last, get into that finish line of when you can maybe think about stopping work. So first of all, I wanted to sort of define what this is. And what I'm going to do over the next couple of weeks is maybe create a little series. So we'll do this piece by piece. Like instead of doing like a giant video, we'll just do like little pieces. So the first thing that Raf and I did when we were looking ahead at, hey, when can we stop working? We were looking at our gross burn rate. And that is because we need to know this number so that we know if we ever want to retire, what it's costing us to live the lifestyle that we live every month, and how we can try to recreate that with passive income. And also, it also informs us how much money we need to be making right now on a monthly basis, and how much we need to be able to put away in order to do that. So let me define this. So your gross burn rate is just simply the amount of money that you, if you're looking in a business standpoint, your company, or if you're looking personally, you and your family spends each month just on the lifestyle that you have, right? From business, it's your operating expenses, and this is outside of revenue. So we're not going to talk about how much money you're bringing in. We're just going to talk about how much money is going out. We will talk about money coming in in a different video, but first let's talk about money going out just from like a human being personal expenditure perspective. Okay. So understanding this really helps you identify, where you might have to cut back on spending and where you need to sort of make, some really smart financial decisions moving forward. And it helps you plan for emergency funding because we all need emergency funding, right? A tree fell in my yard. Suddenly I have to have dental surgery, that sort of thing. And knowing this burn rate is going to help you figure out how much you should be saving for that and hopefully maintain that emergency fund as you go. And of course, it helps you, sort of with debt management because it helps you kind of figure out what debt you have and how to perhaps, put together a plan to reduce that debt. Now, we all have a ton of fixed expenses, and those fixed expenses are kind of, what I want you to be detailing out as you look for your gross burn rate. This is going to be your housing expenses, whether you rent, whether you bought, I don't care. It's going to be your housing expenses. So your mortgage or your rent, how much it costs for your utilities. So gas, electric, water, if you pay for anything from, and anything having to do with the utilities for your home or home maintenance, right? This is also going to include insurance, which means your homeowner's insurance, your personal umbrella insurance, your car insurances. Are you paying for life insurance policy right now? Health, car, etc. The whole, schmagaggle of all insurances. In addition to that, I think you want to pay attention to your phone and internet bills because, we all have phones that require internet service. And of course, how you view your entertainment, like, whether or not you're paying for cable, whether you're paying for streaming services, etc. These are all things that are part of that cost that you want to track. And of course, your transportation costs, right? Do you have a car payment? Do you pay for things like, public transit, etc.? So your gas money, these are all part of your transportation costs. And of course, if you have any other debt service, you want to pay attention to that. Like, do you have student loans? Do you have, credit card bills? What are your credit card bills running you every month? I know that those can be a little bit on the variable side, but hopefully they're kind of staying relatively similar, of course, except for December when we have holiday stuff to pay for. But hopefully you're being relatively consistent with that. You're going to have other variable expenses, of course. You're going to have to buy groceries. You're going to dine out, have entertainment. You're going to want to go to the movies, maybe go to a show, etc. So your entertainment expenses should also be noted. And of course, things like, it's sometimes you have to buy clothes, new shoes for the kids because they outgrow, personal care. You got to go to the salon because it's time for a haircut. These are all things that you want to keep in mind. And of course, sometimes we pay for things like hobbies and shopping for fun and vacations, etc. So all of these things that hopefully is relatively easy to monitor for you because you have them on your, on your bank statements. These are all, when you bring it all together, this is going to calculate your gross burn rate. One really powerful tool to do this is, and it just stinks. This is like the worst. It just hurts so badly. But there is nothing stopping you from printing out from 2024, for instance, all of your credit card and debit card bills, because most of us have that online now. There is nothing stopping us from printing out January through December of 2024, right? And really going through and examining all of those things that are costing us money. Now, on our next video, we're going to spend a little time talking about how to go through there and really start picking apart where you can find particular savings on a month-to-month basis, okay? So we'll do that on the next video. But right now, take some time, figure out a generalized gross burn rate for you. Because this gross burn rate, whether it's $7,000 a month, whether it's $4,000 a month, whether it's $25,000, $30,000 a month, this is going to be the amount of money that you need to maintain the lifestyle that you have, not only right now as you live, but also as you move towards the possibility of trying to retire and end work. How do you set yourself up for the kind of success because you want to be able to create enough possible passive income to cover that lifestyle that you're living right now, okay? And of course, the biggest thing that we're going to do next week is we're going to look and see, because you better make sure that the money coming in is matching and surpassing the money that's going out. Otherwise, you are likely living either hand to mouth or potentially, dipping into some important savings or emergency funds that you might need. All right. And so these are things that we can talk about together. So definition of gross burn rate. And hopefully by the time I talk to you guys next week, you'll know what your gross burn rate number is, and we can talk about how to move forward. All right. I look forward to talking to you guys next week, and have a wonderful President's Day week.